Okay, what is the greatest motivational factor? What is the biggest life hack for motivation and productivity? It's I feel like it's not even like a surprising thing. I think absolutely it is the survival drive, right? Like if you have something that is connected to you in such a way in which you need to do it, get it done, succeed at it, the biggest way that you're going to guarantee that that actually happens is if it's connected to your ability to survive. As soon as it's like, if I don't do this, I will not survive. I will not be able to pay my bills. I will not be able to, continue in this life that I lead. Like that is going to be this thing that drives you forward, and that's where I'm headed. And so I've got 11 days until my normal income sources like run out, right? And then after that, I've got some savings built up that should get me through like a couple of months if I try to reduce my cost of living as low as possible. And I think that's a huge thing too. Like just find the things that you don't actually need to pay for. Like I pay $9 a month for my cell phone, right? It doesn't have any like neat things, but it works as a cell phone, and everything else I do on Wi-Fi. So it's like, it just doesn't matter. So why would I pay more than like $9 a month kind of thing? People way more than that, and so it's like, so I've been working to reduce my cost of living. I'm trying to get that down as close as I can to like $1,000 a month, which will be ascetic. That'll be extremely austere, or just very very slim. Not much margin of error and whatnot. So I'm trying to do that. I don't know if I can accomplish that or not. But otherwise, I've got a couple of months that I can live off of my savings. No problem, just fully dedicated to making music, and then as gigs come along, like essentially I just want to make sure that I keep those within a given time frame, and then that'll add like a bonus day or a bonus week, depending on how much the gig pays, bonus a month if I'm doing really well, and so that's the way that I'm going to look at it. Every single gig, every single opportunity that comes along, I'm going to be like, how much can this add to me doing full-time music? And so, and I'm kind of in a unique place because it's like, it's very important that musicians don't get into debt, because as soon as you get into debt, then you have somebody else demanding that you pay something on a regular time basis. And as soon as music's not able to provide that like regular income, then you're screwed. Then you have to get a normal job, and those are all hours at the other job that you're not doing music and that you're not moving forward in what you want to do. And so I'm staying away from that as much as I possibly can. After a couple of months of savings, I got a couple of other cards up my sleeve to buy me a couple of more months after that without going into debt. And then if things get really bad, and I still have not been able to turn anything around in this full-time music thing, I can push things out to about a year and a half before I start getting extremely desperate and need to, really get a job. Get something that pays full-time, regular, hourly something. So I'm set up. I've spent the last several years setting myself up to be able to do this. So it's not like jumping in with no plan or no strategy, but at the same time, it's like, shoot, I've got a chalkboard. Every day I move that, I write a lower number on there. So right now it's the countdown until all my regular income just runs out. And now that's at 11 days. And tomorrow that'll be at 10 days. The day after that it'll be at 9 days. And the motivation in just seeing that number go down is astonishing. It's like a kick in the pants every time I go and look at that board, because suddenly it's like, I have to get something done. Like this is not a time that I can play around or just experiment with things, or just write silly songs or do something that's maybe musical but not on task as far as putting together an EP and then a full length after that, and releasing that, and really doing this whole social media thing, and getting this all going as like, I mean, essentially a brand, a company, right? Elliot Carpenter, the company, Elliot Carpenter Incorporated, whatever. You know, so it's like doing all of that, man, you see that 12 go to 11, and you're like, all right, I'm going to finish some stuff today. And that's very important, I think, for creative people in particular, is that deadline concept. Because, like, shoot, there's so many jobs where it's so easy to tell when you begin, what you do, and when you end, you know? And so it's like, you know, if I'm cleaning something, or, you know, working on a factory line or something, it's like, I know when I've wiped stuff down. I know when I've done all the dishes, right? There's a pile of dishes. I washed them. Now I'm done doing the dishes. Now you just go home and you're done, right? And then similarly, like with a factory, it's like you go in, you have to either do a certain number of parts, or you got to do a certain number of hours. After those hours are up, you are done. There's nothing else. With music and creative endeavors, it's like, okay, I've written this song. Should I try another draft of the lyrics? Should I try changing the melody in this way? Should I try reharmonizing this? Should I try this in a different genre? There's like 1,000 different things that you can always try. And really what that does is it makes it so there's no definitive marker for when you're actually done. And so I could work on the same song for the rest of my life probably. And it would end up being very different as the years go by, of course. But it's like, that's kind of the brutality of art. There's like an ideal also that goes along with this. Like, I want the things that I put out to be perfect, you know, but there's kind of this diminishing return. So I can work on something and work on something and work on something. Those initial hours that I'll put into, especially like recording, you know, what those initial hours when I'm like rehearsing and getting my voice ready to record a song are amazing. Like, there's amazing growth as I'm just figuring out, you know, where my voice wants to land on the notes, and maybe some different expressive things that I can do, kind of getting the character and the story into my head so that I can convey it and express it better. And at the same time, it's like I'm figuring out how each one of these words fits kind of in my mouth, and how that feels and how I want to bring that forward. And I'm listening to it and kind of critiquing myself back and adjusting things. And so those first few hours are explosive growth in terms of producing a product and quality, and then that falls off. You know, then I can work on it for like another 3 hours. There's going to be less growth, and another 3 hours, and next another 3 days, and it's going to be just minute things that I'm fixing. And then maybe I can work on it for 3 weeks or 3 months, and it's going to be sounding pristine. And I can work on it for another 3 months, and it's going to be sounding, you know, even more locked in. In all sorts of ways. And it's like I could do that forever. And the ideal of art, you know, that kind of drives us as creative people, pushes us towards that. Like, no, let me do it again. Let me try another take. Let me rewrite this line. I know that there's something better out there. I want to touch that which is so deeply true and beautiful that everybody is going to see this, that it will be not a subjective matter, that this will be an objective, when people see it, experience just something of art in its entirety, you know, and I feel that sort of push, and what that does is it stalls me. It has stalled me out for years, just pushing to be better, and then suddenly it's like, Elliot, if you do not do this, you will not survive. That changes the game entirely. Because now I'm in a place where it's like, okay, I could put another 3 weeks into this song. I could put another month into the song, another 3 months into the song. I could rewrite all of the songs that I have planned for the EP, and see if I can come up with something better. You know, maybe I need to write 50 more songs, then I'll pick out 3 or 4. Maybe I need to write 500 songs, and I'll pick out 3 or 4. And it's like, I could do that forever, and I would do that forever, just to try to hit that ideal. But now that it's either you're going to get this done and put it out, the days are ticking down before you will not survive. Now suddenly it's like, all right, it's not about me doing this perfectly. It's about me getting this done, you know? So that's where I'm at today. Whew. And we'll see what sort of day it is. Thanks for joining me on the journey.